Hey everyone, how we doing? Today, another video from Arcboodle coming at you, this time Zekvir on the hardest difficulty. I'm going at him as the 612 item level Unholy DK. I am using a healer Brann, and my talents, Brann, and all that stuff will be in the description below, so if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask me, otherwise check there first. So for this, getting straight into it, the main thing about this fight, especially P1, is you want to make sure it's on you. You don't want it hitting Brann, so taunt it if you have to. Other than avoiding like the one-shots or the fears, you know, the claw, the web, whatever, it's about how you deal with the ads and how you deal with this poison. Now ideally, which I failed here, you want to make sure you AMS the poison. The poison, at lower gear levels, it's super deadly. At at higher gear levels, it's not as bad of healer Brann. But what I did there was I didn't kick the heal, which is the second mechanic you got to kick. That's why unfortunately you have to let the poison go through sometimes. I'm getting beat up here, but don't worry, I'm fine. Copium. The main thing is, because you don't have access to 2 kicks as a DK, you do want the Pet's Transform, but you really want it for the damage. Even with improved Mind Freeze, you don't have enough kick cooldown for being able to kick it sometimes with the overlaps. You always want to kick the Regenerator, and because you're using healer Brann, you don't have the option of letting Brann kick one of them. So you always kick the shield, kick it as late as you want, by the way. He's not hitting you during the cast, so you can leave it super late. So with your AMS rotation, personally what I would do was, Brann has a Dispel, I think it's on a 1 minute cooldown or something. So Brann will Dispel you once, but he sometimes is feared or stuff, so sometimes you got to deal with it. So for example here, I didn't kick it because I know I had the Brann healing like orbs around, so I didn't need to use my AMS. Another reason not to use AMS is if you have the golden shield thing. I'll point out the next time I see it, but that thing will immune the poison because it's slow, and that's how other classes deal with it, like warriors can blade storm it or stuff like that, paladins can freedom it, stuff like that. But ripping along, we're just slow and steady. You always want to save some sort of cooldown for the eggs, because the eggs, if they hatch, it's a lot better since the hotfixes. Hotfixes can be again found down below. The eggs are much better. You can see where they're going. The eggs have less HP and they can start. But the thing that'll catch a lot of people is when you go to the eggs, you want to make sure that his frontals aren't about to come. Like you can see it down below. He's got a frontal in 4 seconds, which is, it sometimes happens early, or he does 2. You want to make sure you're not, he's not like across the room from you, which is why I'm hovering him always towards the center of the room. So he's not like super far across the room, so the claw doesn't like shoot across the room and one-shot me and I can't get out of it, right? Because my ability is super important, I'm with Rider. You could go stand lane if you want as Unholy, or like Deathbringer. Deathbringer is really good too, but just having that is really nice. Here, for example, I was hoping Brann would Dispel me, but he doesn't, but we're fine. At 60%, 59%, he hard phases, so you just got to get him to there, and then you got a bit of a, you know, he doesn't take damage, so don't pop cooldowns or anything like that. But now comes the final phase, so a lot of the abilities are empowered. Now he'll summon portals when he does his web shot, which will reflect the web shot around the portal, so you just want to get away from the portals and dodge his web shot. His fear is now all lasts forever, and you got this shit, which you've got to dodge the swirlies, right? All of it's one-shots, and it's killing Brann. So the reason this phase is a lot harder, and that carapace will heal him a lot more. One of the reasons that you can see the going through the portal there, you just want to get away from that. So one of the main reasons here is you've got to be very careful, and there's the Infinite Horror. Brann's going to get one-shot by the Infinite Horror a lot. Brann's going to die a lot in this phase. You've got to be very careful with that. And also, like, I'm trying to bait, if you see me like move a bit weird or stuff, it's because I play with like 400 ping, because I'm not on OC server. I'm there to play with friends, so unfortunately I have really bad ping, and I'm living in Europe, so haha. So if you can see me dodging this stuff, you know, you can too. But Brann's still alive here, so I should be getting some form of healing soon, hopefully. But when he's doing this arrow shot thing, which I still think is really good, he's not prepared to drop heals, so you got to be careful and use defenses accordingly. Here, for example, like, I know I've got to get away from that, so I'm going to go away from that, and I know the claw's coming, which is why I dodge to the right. I don't dodge far enough to the right, so I don't want to risk it by going back to left to get uptime, because I know I've got cooldowns. I'm not going to like die to this. I AMS this to immune it, and then we'll just keep going. Brann's dead, so that's, you know, less DPS on the egg, so you need to hold cooldowns for that egg. You have to. If you're a class that can do it, or you feel like you're more geared than me, or do more damage to me, or your Frost as well. Frost is really good at this too. You can definitely just like send it. But here, for example, something I didn't mention as well is when he does the fear, 4 balls will come out. You can see the little circles on the edge of the fear. You need to be looking at where those are going to dodge them. Right there, I lived honestly because of luck. I wasn't looking where those orbs were, and I almost walked into it. Right, gotta pay attention to that. So here, for example, I don't have anything for the thing, so I know I gotta be super careful for it. So I'm gonna be death striking a lot. but I'm also worried about, you know, the egg. But luckily Brann hits it, so go Brann. Thanks, Brann. But yep, just watching. Always play safe. Like this is more of an endurance test than a race. Honestly, you've just got to live. As long as you're living, you see the circles there, dodge them, boom, no danger. But Brann's not as smart as us, so Brann's gonna go down a lot here. So I know I have no dispel here. I have nothing here. I'm hoping for the best. I still haven't seen that little shot I was talking about, but Zekvir's getting really low. So right here, I could have zerged Zekvir over the egg, but I was so focused on not dying. I was you know, I was locked in. And right here, just slow and steady wins the race. I have all my cooldowns up. I've just got to kick the heel and then dodge whatever's coming, which is a frontal. And I know I'm out of it. I'm just watching. He doesn't do a second frontal. He does the fear instead. So I know the claw's coming right after this, if it's nothing else. But luckily, I believe it overlaps with the Unending Spines cast, so he doesn't. Which means at the end of this Unending Spine cast, he's gonna do a claw really soon, which he does because they overlapped. And yeah, that's Zekvir done.